Merritt Owen Galloway slouched in the driver's seat of his idling Chevy Astro van. It was 104 degrees outside, and the air conditioning did little by way of comfort. The parking lot in which he sat was in the grip of a sweltering Florida summer. He was certain that if trenchfoot and swamp ass were in any way related, he'd have to amputate his buttocks to stave off gangrene. He toed the throttle, revving the throaty V6 to 2,000 RPM. The added power squeezed a bit more chill out of the van's AC. "God damn," he groused, wondering why the hell anyone would want to visit Florida when it got so fucking hot here. Mild sunburn had reddened his thighs beyond the reach of his khaki shorts, and this much was the result of sunlight entering through tinted windows. Merritt hadn't actually been outside his van since leaving Alabama at sunup this morning, and while Florida was outside his usual circuit, money was tight. This job seemed simple enough, and the pay was too good to pass up. He straightened up in his seat as a land yacht cruised into the parking lot. It was a real looker, a Buick LeSabre, brand new for 1988, done up in black paint and chrome trim. Behind the wheel was a graying Oriental man in a suit, with a dolled-up missus sitting shotgun, with a bowl-cut kiddo in the back seat, or so Merritt could tell through his binoculars. The sedan parked in a spot in front of the Turnpike Service Plaza. As the family got out of the car, Merritt lugged his backpack out of the passenger seat and exited, headed for the plaza's front stoop. Merritt timed his steps, keeping far enough away so not to spook the family as they crossed the plaza's threshold. Once the automatic doors had shut behind them, Merritt veered to the right and took up position on a bench under the shade of the plaza's awning. He yanked a manila folder from his pack and thumbed through the papers inside it. The car was a positive match. The photo in his hands depicted the same Buick as has rolled up a minute ago. The man in the photo was Cheung Jiang, a Hong Kong hotshot developer of Macau hotel casinos. With him was his wife, Anna, and 4-year-old son, Peter, on their way to a week-long vacation at Disney World. Merritt didn't know a lick about Hong Kong politics, but he knew that there was a $10,000 bounty on the half-pint's head. Apparently, the boy's daddy had snatched a lucrative contract away from a rival developer. The competition, not ready to throw in the towel just yet, sought leverage to persuade Cheung to bow out gracefully, and by leverage, that meant holding his son for ransom. That was where Merritt fit into the equation. In all of the southeastern United States, Merritt was the guy you called on when you wanted someone to disappear. A half hour went by. Merritt passed the time paging through a newspaper he'd picked up the night before. He didn't read it so much as look at it, as though he were reading it, glancing over the top of the paper each time he turned the pages. He raised the paper to cover his face when he heard the plaza's automatic doors hiss open. Out came Cheung and Anna, with Peter hand in hand between them. Merritt gave them some lead before slinking off the bench. With a practiced sleight of hand, he drew a cattle prod from his back and bundled it into his folded-up newspaper. Merritt hung back until he was about 30 feet away, then jogged after them. "Sir! Excuse me, sir!" he called out. The family stopped. Cheung and Anna turned to face him. Merritt slowed to a walking pace, then doubled over, mimicking an exhausted runner at the end of a sprint. "You forgot your wallet," he said, panting. Cheung instinctively let go of his son to pat his back pocket. Merritt sprang up and thrust the cattle prod into the crook of Cheung's armpit. The prod came to life with a sizzling thunderclap of energy. Cheung leapt with a jolt, collapsing a full 10 feet away from where he stood, and fell to the ground, hugging his sides. Merritt then swept the prod across in a wide arc. It whistled over Peter's head and shattered the bridge of Anna's nose. As Anna's hands flew to cover her face, Merritt shoved her to the asphalt and broke into a run with Peter under his arm. No sooner had he reached his van than he flung the boy head first into the back and leapt into the cabin. He was on the turnpike in moments, with the plaza fading fast into the horizon behind him.